Working on this 2004 Toyota RAV4, and we are going to be doing the timing chain set. For today, I'm only going to be taking off the air box, the valve cover, and a few other odds and ends just to kind of get it started. Here's my day one progress. Took the valve cover off along with the air box and everything. Took the wheel off. And I'm going to take the belt, and then eventually we'll be taking this timing cover off right here. But something I found quite interesting. I don't know if the timing was done once before, or if maybe this thing is just jumped timing, but I've lined up the one, let's see if you can see it there. There's one link that is going to be a different color. Well, you can kind of see that there. One link that is a different color on the chain. Well, technically it's two locations. You have one there, and then can't really see it really well, but there's one right there. And they line up with these arrows here. That one, and then that arrow there. However, your intake and exhaust lobes are supposed to be closed, and this one is clearly open. So either someone timed it right and just threw the belt on there, or perhaps this thing has skipped timing. It seems to drive all right, so I don't think it skipped timing. That just means I have to eyeball it and hope that I can get the timing locked in correctly. Here's my day two update on the RAV4. Just finishing up taking some of the last bolts off and a few other plastic components, moving this power steering pump over, and then I have to undo the bolts here on the oil pan. I'm probably just going to take the whole oil pan off, and then I can finally take that timing cover off and get to the timing. Day three of working on the RAV4, and I finally got the timing cover off. This was an absolute nightmare, and unless I get a shop of my own with a lift, I'm probably never doing this kind of job ever again. It never said it anywhere, but I'm definitely leaning towards Toyota probably wanted you to pull the whole engine out to get to it. It was a lot of lifting and removing motor mounts and lowering it to get one bolt and raising it up to get another. It was not fun. I also drained the coolant because I'm going to be replacing the water pump, and it's the right coolant, but it's not as red as it used to be, so it's probably old, and I think it would be a good idea just to get that changed now, since we've already started changing all the other fluids. Power steering fluid is being serviced. We did the brake fluid. I'm going to be doing the transmission. This is going to get an oil change naturally with this job. So pretty much all the other fluids are changed out. We might as well put some fresh antifreeze in there as well. Day four of doing the timing on this Toyota RAV4. So you can see I got some fresh timing components on there, all except for the tensioner, because I have to put the cover back on first. And I've also changed out the oil pump. There's the old one. Honestly, doing the timing isn't so bad once you pull the timing cover off and the bazillion bolts and everything that bolts onto there, and the oil pan and the driver or the passenger side wheel and engine mount and that power steering pump and the valve cover and millions upon millions upon millions upon millions of bolts. And I took the alternator and water pump off as well, just to get that timing cover off. So we're going to be replacing the water pump with a new one as well. We're going to reuse that old alternator. It seems fine. Same with the belt. And of course replacing the valve cover gasket as well, because I'm not sure I want to reuse that one. Day 5 of doing the timing on this RAV4, and I can almost see the light. I just put the valve cover gasket, or valve cover and new gasket on. Just replaced that VVT solenoid. Put the alternator back in. It's got that new water pump finally. Right down there you can see the 4 brass bolts. Now I got to put the belt on. A bunch of these connectors everywhere, clip them back in. Ignition coils, air box, fresh oil. I need to change out the oil filter, top off the coolant. Probably, well, I also have a new engine mount there. It was a pain to get off the old one, so we just decided we'd replace it now. And only a handful of bolts left for everything. Obviously, I got to put the wheel back on too, and eventually I'll be servicing the transmission, dropping the pan, replacing the filter, and putting fresh fluid in there. It's been a long week, and it's only Monday. Final day of working on the RAV4, and you can see it's put back together. It's finally running. I'm just in the process of burping the cooling system, making sure everything is bolted down. I had a fun time with the serpentine belt tensioner. Here's the old one. The pulley isn't too bad, but this guy here is ever so slightly peened right there, and that might be normal, but this thing would not loosen up at all. Also, some of the fluid was leaking out, as you can see how wet it is. So no matter how much oomph I put into it, it was not loosening up, and I could not get that belt on for the life of me. As you can even see, I started to round this thing off a lot. There was going to come a point where I wouldn't be able to get the belt on, and that was pretty much the only thing holding up putting this whole thing back together. Started it up. It runs. It's a little hesitant, but it was like that before, so it's leading me to believe I didn't cause it. There was a little noise coming from the timing here at first, which is the issue we ran into the first time. But I think after it started to warm up and the oils really started to cycle, that noise went away. So I know I've done some good, and it's idling great. Yeah, I think my buddy's going to be very happy with this thing when I tell him the news that it's all ready to go and I didn't somehow magically break it. The only thing I lost was my sanity working on it.